Welcome back to the channel, friends. Today, we're stepping inside a home that feels like a soft exhale after winter. A Joanna Gaines-inspired spring cottage tour 2026 filled with vintage Magnolia Farmhouse Decor, cozy layers, heirloom textures, and all the charming details that make a house feel truly lived in and loved. If you adore spring home decor ideas, modern farmhouse decorating, cottage-style interiors, and that effortlessly warm Magnolia home aesthetic, you're in for such a treat. And trust me, by the end of this tour, you're going to have a whole list of beautiful, budget-friendly ideas to bring this same timeless spring feeling into your own home. But before we begin, I have to tell you, there are a few spaces in this tour that completely stole my heart. From a dreamy cottage entryway to a vintage-inspired spring kitchen and the coziest layered living room, every corner is full of those signature details Joanna Gaines is known for: thoughtful simplicity, meaningful antiques, fresh greenery, and rooms that feel both elevated and deeply personal. So stay with me all the way through, because this isn't just a pretty home tour, it's packed with spring decorating ideas 2026, farmhouse styling inspiration, and subtle design tricks you can actually use in your own home this season. Our tour begins right at the front porch, and this is where the tone for the entire home is set. Think weathered wood planters, a soft, neutral doormat, vintage-style lanterns, and a wreath that feels organic rather than overly polished. One of the biggest spring decor trends for 2026 is creating an entry that feels welcoming and relaxed, and this porch does exactly that. Instead of loud seasonal decorations, it uses potted herbs, olive branches, delicate florals, and rustic textures to create a spring cottage porch that feels timeless. It's that perfect balance between farmhouse front porch decor and effortless everyday beauty, warm, inviting, and never overdone. As soon as we step inside, the entryway gives us that signature Joanna Gaines farmhouse style, curated, calm, and rich with character. There's likely an antique bench, a woven basket tucked underneath, maybe a vintage mirror with a distressed wood frame, and a vase of fresh branches that instantly says spring without trying too hard. What makes this space so captivating is how simple it is. Nothing screams for attention, yet everything feels intentional. This is the beauty of Magnolia-inspired decor. It doesn't rely on excess. It relies on texture, age, and emotional warmth. And honestly, that's one of the biggest reasons this design style remains so beloved year after year. Now let's move into the living room, where the entire mood shifts into that dreamy blend of cozy cottage decor and modern farmhouse elegance. This space feels layered, breathable, and full of life. The heavy winter blankets are gone, replaced by lightweight linen throws, soft striped pillows, neutral florals, and maybe even a touch of faded sage or dusty blue. One of the strongest spring home refresh ideas this year is simply lightening what you already have, and this room is a perfect example of that. It still feels grounded and cozy, but brighter, softer, and more open, like the room itself is welcoming in the new season. If there's one place Joanna Gaines always seems to get exactly right, it's the mantel. And this spring mantel styling is absolutely stunning in its simplicity. Rather than cluttering the space with too many small objects, the look is built around scale, height, and softness. A larger mirror or vintage artwork anchors the center, while asymmetrical greenery, candlesticks, pottery, and old books add warmth and movement. One of the smartest spring mantel decor ideas for 2026 is using foliage and organic branches to create that styled but not stiff feeling. It looks elevated, yes, but also natural, livable, and beautifully imperfect. Let's talk about the palette, because this home absolutely nails one of the most important design shifts of the season. Instead of traditional bright Easter pastels, we're seeing soft, earthy spring tones take center stage: warm whites, muted greens, dusty clay, buttercream, oat, and pale floral hues that feel grounded rather than sugary. This is a huge part of what makes vintage farmhouse spring decor feel sophisticated in 2026. The home doesn't feel theme-y. It feels seasonal in a subtle, elevated way. And if you've ever wondered how to decorate for spring without your home looking overly decorated, this is the answer. Keep the palette quiet, natural, and connected to the landscape outside. Now we've arrived at the heart of the home, the kitchen, and this is where the Vintage Magnolia Farmhouse Decor really shines. Imagine warm wood cutting boards, stoneware crocks, scalloped details, antique brass hardware, creamy cabinetry, open shelves with collected dishware, and just enough greenery to keep everything feeling alive. What I love most about this Joanna Gaines-inspired kitchen is that it doesn't feel styled for a photo shoot. It feels ready for real life. It's beautiful, yes, but it's also practical, soulful, and deeply comforting. This is exactly why farmhouse kitchen decor ideas continue to trend on YouTube, because they create spaces people actually want to gather in. One of the most requested design questions in home decor is always, how do you style shelves beautifully without making them look busy? And this home gives us the perfect answer. The open shelving here is styled with restraint. Stacked white dishes, old ironstone, a few handmade mugs, vintage art, maybe a small framed botanical print, and one or two natural elements like a trailing plant or a bundle of dried stems. The key to achieving this Magnolia shelf styling look is repetition and breathing room. Not every inch needs to be filled. In fact, the empty space is what gives the decor its elegance and allows each piece to tell its own story. Next, we move into the dining space, and this area feels like spring brunch at its absolute prettiest. Think white ceramic plates, wood chargers, soft linen napkins, a simple runner, and fresh stems arranged in an unfussy vessel. What makes this spring tablecape idea so special is that it feels achievable. It's not overstyled or too formal to actually use. One of Joanna's most enduring design strengths is making everyday moments feel meaningful, and this table captures that beautifully. Whether you're hosting Easter, Sunday brunch, or just setting the table for a quiet weekday dinner, this is the kind of farmhouse dining room decor that turns ordinary routines into something memorable. Now here's where the soul of the home really reveals itself: the vintage details. A carved wooden frame, a weathered stool, an old crock, antique books, a floral oil painting, a thrifted lamp. These are the pieces that keep a room from feeling generic. One of the strongest home decor trends in 2026 is moving away from sterile perfection and toward homes that feel collected, layered, and emotionally rich. That's exactly why the vintage cottage farmhouse style is having such a beautiful moment right now. It reminds us that a home doesn't need to be new to feel beautiful. Sometimes, it's the worn edges and faded finishes that make it unforgettable. Of course, no spring cottage home tour would be complete without flowers and greenery. But here's what makes this home especially inspiring: the florals are used with such intention. Rather than overloading every surface with blooms, they're placed where they'll have the most impact. A loose arrangement on the kitchen counter, a branch in the entry, a small bundle on the bedside table, maybe some herbs by the sink. This is one of the easiest ways to achieve that Joanna Gaines spring decor look at home. It's organic, airy, and beautifully understated. And honestly, even the simplest grocery store bouquet can feel luxurious when styled this way. Let's step into the bedroom, because this space is the definition of a spring reset. The bedding is lighter, the textures are softer, and everything feels intentionally restful. We're seeing washed linen, block print patterns, subtle stripes, vintage-inspired quilts, and those warm, creamy tones that instantly calm the eye. This room proves that spring bedroom decor ideas don't need to be complicated to be effective. Sometimes all it takes is switching out heavy winter layers, adding one beautiful floral pillow, and introducing a simple natural scent or fresh stem. The result is a room that doesn't just look beautiful, it actually helps you feel more at ease in your everyday life. One of my favorite things about a truly well-designed home is that no corner feels forgotten, and this spring cottage tour captures that beautifully. Even the smaller spaces, the bathroom, hallway nook, laundry corner, or bedside vignette, carry the same thoughtful charm as the main rooms. A folded linen hand towel, a little ceramic dish, a framed print, a candle, or a woven tray can completely transform how these spaces feel. This is such an important reminder for anyone decorating on a budget. You do not need a full renovation to create beauty. Sometimes the most impactful home styling ideas happen in the smallest, most overlooked corners of your home. And I think that's exactly why so many people are still drawn to Joanna Gaines' inspired home decor in 2026. It's not just about aesthetics, it's about atmosphere. This design style creates homes that feel deeply personal, emotionally grounding, and refreshingly unpretentious. It invites you to slow down, use what you already have, mix old with new, and create spaces that reflect your life rather than someone else's trend board. In a world full of fast, disposable design, this Magnolia Farmhouse style still resonates because it feels human. It says your home doesn't need to be perfect to be beautiful. It just needs to feel like you. If this tour is inspiring your own spring farmhouse home refresh, I'd love to know which room gave you the most ideas today. Was it the cozy living room, the cottage kitchen, the spring tablescape, or those gorgeous vintage details? Tell me in the comments below because I always love hearing how you'd style these spaces in your own home. And if you're enjoying this kind of home decor inspiration, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a new tour, seasonal decorating idea, or cozy farmhouse makeover. Your support truly helps this creative little corner keep blooming. As we wrap up this Joanna Gaines-inspired Spring Cottage Tour 2026, I hope it leaves you feeling inspired to create a home that feels lighter, softer, and more meaningful this season. Whether you add a vase of fresh greenery, restyle a shelf with vintage finds, swap in lighter textiles, or simply open the windows and let the light in, remember, beautiful homes are built one thoughtful detail at a time. Vintage Magnolia Farmhouse Decor isn't about copying a look. It's about creating warmth, authenticity, and comfort in a way that reflects your own story. Thanks so much for spending this cozy spring moment with me, and I'll see you in the next beautiful home tour.